Right, so we're back in Malaysia. Two reasons why there's not a lot of Sydney stuff there is because, one, we were drinking every single day and it was just too much effort to take my camera out. That is literally probably the worst excuse I could use, but it's true. Second thing was my GoPro wasn't working well. The battery kept running out of it, so when I did all the surfing and the kayaking and stuff in Australia, the video footage came out awfully and the battery ran out within like 10 minutes, so that needs to go and get fixed after this. But this video is nothing to do with Sydney, it's nothing to do about Malaysia. It's a little bit about, no, it's a lot about to do Malaysia. But the first thing I'm going to do is we're going to talk about my hair. Now, those that know me well know that last year I decided to grow my hair out, got to around about here, but then my wedding came up and my wife was like, Ollie, you look scruffy, cut your hair. So I was like, okay, I'll cut my hair. That's what you want me to do. But we're going to grow it out again. So I'm going to sort of update as we go every sort of 3 months. Every month, 3 months, just to see how long it gets. I'm going to keep the sides short, but I'm going to keep the length growing on the top. But for now, it means hat time, because anyone that's growing their hair out knows it's just the most awkward thing to style. Now, this video is going to be all about living in Asia. And it's tips and tricks for people that are actually wanting to move to Asia. Now, loads of people have asked me on social media, what's it like living in Asia? Living in Malaysia is just like living anywhere else in the world, to be honest with you. I mean, like, if you live in the UK, it's quite similar sort of thing. Yeah, the culture's different, yeah, the food's different, but the lifestyle's very similar, except the weather's a bit better. We drink at the weekends, we hang out with friends, we go swimming in the morning, which you can't do at home unless you go to one of the other pools. Everyone's got a pool. So that's what I do here. I go up for a swim in the morning, I work, I drink, I hang out with my buddies, and I play PlayStation when I have the time. So yeah. Now, one of the things people don't get about Malaysia, Malaysia's not like the rest of Asia. When you think of Asia, you think of tropical beaches, going up into the jungles, doing whitewater rafting, visiting local cultures and stuff like that. It's not quite the same as that in Malaysia. Malaysia is very more, I'm trying to think of the word, like more upscale than the rest of Asia. Don't get me wrong, Asia's great, I love Asia, but it is very third world, I would say. Not in a bad way, that's just because it's the way it is. Doesn't make it any less great. I mean, I would prefer to live in Asia or live in Thailand or live in Vietnam, anything like that. I would prefer to live there than live back in the UK, for sure. But Malaysia is more, one of the prime things about it is, I think, mainly it's a Muslim country, so your alcohol prices are more expensive, but the rest of the living is very cheap. You've seen in past videos I've spoke about the prices of alcohol and stuff like that, but that is just what it is. One of the benefits, I would say, of living in Malaysia is the fact that we can travel to other parts of Asia very, very cheap. Like, my friend's coming out at the end of February, and he said to me, can you come meet me in Koh Tao? So I'm going to Koh Tao to meet him for a week or two, have a bit of fun, to hang around at the tropical beaches, drink for cheap, stuff like that. So we're going to go and do that when he comes to visit. For now, I just got to get on with my day-to-day life. My day-to-day life is I teach scuba diving, and I teach swimming, and I teach fitness. That's what I do for a living. Now, I'm going to talk through some of the pros and cons of living in Asia. I'm going to use Asia as a whole here rather than Malaysia because I live here. I'm going to talk about it as a whole. One of the first things I would say is the low cost of living is a massive plus. Obviously, if you're going back home, things are going to be way more expensive. I mean, even when we went to Australia, or even if we go to Singapore, the prices of stuff are so much more expensive. So we just try and stay here as much as possible and try and stay within Asia when we're traveling around. Obviously, we do want to go out and see Sydney, or we wanted to go to Australia and stuff like that, because you want to see those places in the world. But the reason we try and stay in Asia as much as possible is because the cost of living is so cheap. Another thing is job opportunities. The jobs aren't just in tourism or in diving and stuff like that in Asia anymore. There's so many job opportunities around in Bangkok, in Ho Chi Minh, Kuala Lumpur, Singapore. There's some massive job opportunities in these places. So that is That's another one. That's another reason why people might want to move out here. Now, one of the ones which some people have said to me is a pro, I would tend not to agree with it because I think it's bad, and if you get caught, it can cause massive repercussions. But the visa requirements, a lot of people around Asia work on a tourist visa. Now, I'm on a visa to live here properly, so I'm actually on a fine visa. I'm not living here illegally. But one of the pros people say about living in Asia as a pro would be that you have to do visa runs every couple of months. And that visa run means you can go and travel somewhere else. Sorry, I'm making tea at the same time. You can travel to other places. So, for example, if you're living in Thailand and you need to do a visa run, you can just pop to the Philippines, or you can just pop to Bali, or you can just pop to Vietnam, or you can pop to Cambodia, or Laos, or Malaysia, or Singapore, anything like that. And I've got friends that live in Thailand that actually use me to come and stay with me because I've got a spare bed for them to stay in. So I would say that would be another pro for people. It can be a con, can be a pro. You can make up your decision on that one. Another one would be safety and like security and just being safe here. Now, the locals in Asia love people from overseas. They love Westerners. They all want to talk to you. That the question I get more than anything else is, what football team do you support? And as soon as I say Liverpool, they go wild for it. They absolutely love it. I mean, if you say you support Man United or something like that, they're not as big on it because no one likes Man United. That's a little dig, sorry. Or if you say Arsenal or Chelsea, they don't even know who those are. But if you say Liverpool, if you say you're a Liverpool fan living in Asia, you're basically a god. Like, they love it. Like, so the locals love people here. Obviously, it's the same with everywhere. Everywhere's got nasty people. Just use common sense. Don't walk around at night in a dodgy area. It's the same as if you were living in London. So I would say living here is so much more safe than it is living in London or living in New York or something like that. So that would be my last pro for living in Asia, would be definitely it's such a safe and secure place to live. Now, obviously, I've given the pros. Now I need to give you some cons. Now, I'm not going to say to you that Asia is the best place in the world to live, because it's not. I think it is, but there are better places to live. And these are the reasons why. One thing that does get me living in Asia is you're always seen as a tourist. It doesn't matter how long you've lived here. It doesn't matter how long you've been coming here. It doesn't matter how long or how much you try to be a part of the community or trying to get on with the locals. They will always see you as a tourist. When people speak to me and say, oh, you're on holiday here, I say, no, I live here. And they'll go, oh, how long you live here for? And I say 2 years. And they go, oh, why? Why you live here? Stuff like that. So that is always, like, there's been times where people have sort of like got a little bit aggy with me and they've said, get out of my country. And it's not a nice thing to feel. You want to feel like this is your home, because this is my home. So I would like, that's one of the things that does get me about living here. Another one, which sounds like it's great, but seasons. I miss seasons. Like, I miss being cold. It's just hot here all the time. Even if we've got like a torrential storm outside and a monsoon, it's still hot. You're still lying in bed sweating. Okay, so that's another thing that I do miss. A couple other things which aren't so important, but I mean, it would help. Customer service could be a lot better, but again, the language barrier does sometimes mess that up a little bit. But again, I should learn the language, and I'm sure things would probably be a little bit easier if I did learn the language. One other con, which I've heard from other people, but I don't feel so much myself, is people say that you're stuck in a bubble with a group of people and you've not got other friends outside, because the expat community is like that in a certain area, and you're sort of stuck with that expat community and they're your only friends. Now, I disagree with that, but I suppose the reason I would disagree with that is because I do have loads of friends that live in Thailand, so I do get to see them a lot. And the other thing about it is, well, because we're relatively young, loads of our friends go backpacking and they go traveling, and one of their stops when traveling is to come visit us. So we do see our friends and stuff like that, so it does take away the homesickness a little bit. Not that I get homesick. I mean, yeah, I miss my family and stuff, but when it's hot outside and you've got nice things to do and you've got cool people to hang out with, it does help the situation. But yeah, so there might be my cons, I would say. There's not a lot of cons, but I do think they are quite big. Back to the talking about being treated as a tourist. Being a foreigner is a disadvantage living here. For example, if I want to go and get something done, like if I want to get my car cleaned or if I want to go and get something fixed or something like that, I'll always take a Malaysian person with me because they'll get such a discount. I remember there was a time in Bangkok when we got a taxi, and because we had a Thai person with us, the taxi was like so much cheaper because they were Thai. Obviously they just put the prices up. They just see straight away, you're white, you must have money. That's it. That's how they treat them. Which is a bit unfair, but on the other side of it, if they can do it, they can do it. If people are going to pay for it either way. So there would be my cons. If anyone else lives in Asia, or if anyone else wants to move to Asia and you've got your own pros and cons which may be able to help other people, just drop it in the comment section below. Also subscribe to the video because we're all friends here and we all want to help each other in life. Like I said in the last video, 2020 is the year of helping others. So subscribe to the video, share it with your friends, and I'll see you on the next video, which will be very soon. Goodbye.